Howdy.
Well, hello there. Hi, April.
Hi, Sean.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
What are we doing back on these amazing Raider chairs in my backyard?
We are actually starting our newest series.
Newest? What is that?
Let Me the Journey, the Hidden Gems.
Hidden Gems. What is Hidden Gems, April?
Hidden Gems, it is our series that takes you and our audience to different places in our area, actually in our whole region. And we highlight some of the places that are lesser known, but we found that they were places that we would love to see people go check out because they're actually pretty cool places. But again, hidden gems, meaning they're not things that you think of. So where are we starting?
We can't say where we're starting.
We can't?
But I know where we're starting.
I mean, our general.
Just so you guys understand, we actually don't rehearse this stuff. So where we're starting is we're starting at home. My home, because this is our home and Port Orchard's our home. And so what's the best place to start when we want to share our home is with one of our homes. So we're sitting here getting ready to have ice cream, by the way.
Yes, before we introduce you to some of those hidden gems here in Port Orchard, Washington.
We're gonna have ice cream.
So without further ado,
those are squirrels yelling at us to shut up. So
without further ado, I'm April.
I'm Sean. Come join us for our Hidden Gems Port Orchard. I think that's it. Hello, y'all. It's Sean.
It's April.
So we're here, part of our
Hidden gems in our area.
In
this case, in Port Orchard.
Hidden gems. So where are we at, April?
We're at Banner Forest, right off of Banner Road in Port Orchard, right before you get to Olalla.
Banner Forest. So, what about Banner Forest?
Well, Banner Forest actually is a hidden gem for both of us personally. When I first moved here to Washington, it was actually one of the first places I found because it was literally just down the way from where we moved when we moved here. And I found out that it wasn't just a little park. It actually is 645 acres of land. And how many miles of trails?
29 miles of trails.
Yeah, and what you see that we're standing on right now looks like a very manicured trail. That's actually the access trail, which runs down, basically down the center of Banner. But off the sides of these, and they're very well marked, are those trails, those side trails that we're talking about. And you literally, I mean literally, could find yourself lost in Banner, in both a good way and a bad way. In other words, yeah, we both ended up exploring trails and found ourselves going, how do we handle it? And that's actually what came out of our experience is, or my experience getting lost in here, is I realized there's actually a map online and there's a map at the kiosks. We're actually at the center of the access trail, but there's
about 2 miles, 2 mile access trail. So from the parking lot.
Yes. And so you could do an end to end, or you could do, we always do a loop, so it comes out to be about 4 miles, which takes us about an hour at our pace, which is lovely, absolutely lovely. But again, you can get that map and you can go exploring. It's actually kind of cool because as we learned when we started exploring those trails, there's some hidden gems within the hidden gems.
Yes. There's we found cars. There's a Volkswagen Bug for sure in here, and there's a tree bridge, and you had something.
There's a bank safe in here, one of those big old bank safes with the, like the rotary combination lock, which is kind of cool.
The painted rocks.
Yep.
There's a lot of the painted rocks. So people here paint rocks, and you take a picture of it and you share it so people find it and maybe hide it somewhere else. Find a lot of those things.
There's a geocache in here somewhere. I still have yet to find it, but I also haven't been eagerly looking for it. So maybe that'll be one of those things this summer.
So why hidden gems? Why this type of hidden gem?
Why this type of hidden gem? Because, you know, Port Orchard is actually a little town. It's about 14,000 people, so it's not substantial, you know, like Seattle or some of the larger areas like Tacoma around us. But it also has its own busyness.
Yes.
And so sometimes whether you live in, you know, Seattle or you live in Port Orchard, you kind of want to get away. And this is, in my opinion and our experience, it's a really safe, beautiful forest. It's not elaborate, and you know, it doesn't have like a lot of equipment or anything like that. There are no restrooms in the park,
None.
so you definitely want to prepare for that.
Yes.
But there are, you know,
water fountains.
There's no access to water in here, so you definitely want to prepare, which we'll tell you a little bit about that. But it's one of those places where you step in, you know, you take about 50 yards into the first, into the entrance on foot, and all of a sudden the city around you disappears. It's a great place to, you know, come meditate. There's benches in the park that you can just sit and meditate, hang up a hammock on one of the lovely trees that we have in this park. I mean,
they're very tall. They're very tall.
Galore.
Let's look at that. Oh, would you like that? Look at us. We're looking.
Oh man, I love it. The other cool thing about Banner is it's year round. You were talking about kind of something to keep in mind when you come here during the rainy season.
Oh, yeah. When we're talking about getting lost, and I got lost not long ago. I was here by myself, and I got off on one of the trails, and it floods. So there's parts in the trails where it floods, and they're very manicured, like April said, but you would have to wear really nice shoes, or you're going to get your feet wet. It's going to happen. So knowing the terrain is important. Knowing where you're going, and buddy system. Yeah. The safety, that's safety though.
Definitely. Actually, speaking of safety, first of all, I want to say this is definitely a family-friendly park. It's dog-friendly. You can ride horses here, hike here.
Bikes.
You can run. You can use bikes.
Not motorcycles.
Not motorized bikes. So just, you know, kind of keep it pristine and serene in here, which is really wonderful. There's other places in Port Orchard for that sort of thing. But safety-wise, yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you come prepared. And so you want to have water. You want to have something to take care of your, you know, your private business if you have to. Yeah. Garbage bags, so, you know, small grocery bag actually works really well for that. Little
poop bags.
Poop bags for the doggies, and make sure that you take those things out of there. The other thing is, Sean and I always try to make sure that we have, you know, our cell phones charged, just because we don't know how long we want to be in here. It's just so beautiful in here. It's easy to just want to stay all day, and you literally could walk around Banner all day.
And you can get lost.
Want to bring something to eat.
Yes.
You know, maybe have a picnic out here, or maybe just a snack. It's a good idea. And yeah, I mean, and have a copy of that map. Like, we always keep it in a little Ziploc bag to keep it dry.
Yes.
So we can use it. But if you have cell access, and most of the forest, you can have pretty decent cell access. But you always want to just have a snapshot, like a screenshot of it, just in case. Because if you're like us, we want to try new trails, and we don't quite necessarily know where our adventures will end up.
Yes. And you always also, just a safety tip. You also want people to know where you are.
Yeah.
Like you guys have seen Kesia in our shows, and she knows where we are. Yeah. So if you don't report back in later, somebody knows to come look for you. Yeah. And this trail actually has, actually I'm going to walk over here real quick, April. Okay. You don't mind? So she pointed to this thing. I'm going to cover my hand. This here is something where you can call emergency services if you get lost, and they're all over the park. Yeah. I mean, the who takes care of the park?
So actually, Kitsap Parks take care of it. Kitsap County. There is actually a portion of the park that's part of a conservancy, which is an oversight group, just to make sure that the environmental stability is maintained and respected. And so that's it. By the way, a lot of these trails are maintained not just by the county, but the county actually arranges for volunteer crews to come out here and clean up all throughout the year. So that's another thing. If you're interested, if you live in Port Orchard, is a great thing to, you know, get in contact with Kitsap County and talk to them about trail maintenance. But if you don't live in Port Orchard, or maybe Banner's not your thing, there's several parks in our area that are looking for volunteers, and then you can always check it out in your area too.
Yes. I think that's all for now.
For now. Okay, till we see you next time, or a little later on, probably.
Or maybe not. We don't know.
Maybe not. Who knows?
We might get lost out here.
Yeah, we might. So.
See you guys.
All right, Sean, we finished up with Banner Forest.
Like weeks ago.
Yeah, like weeks ago. But we came back again just to wrap up this part and get ready to go or introduce you to our next place. So before we leave Banner again.
So it's the outro. So what do you got for us?
Well, actually, what's funny is we just came here and we had some folks that were coming out of the park, and Sean engaged them in conversation. It turns out they were new to Port Orchard.
Yes.
And so they were very excited to hear what we knew about Banner Forest. It was interesting to hear their experience with Banner, and it was like this whole like fresh, new look at Banner. And they were here several hours. They were walking around. So my portion of the outro is going to be their experience, is the fact that they came here, they brought their little one. They just let the trails guide them, and they were here for several hours, and they came out smiling and saying, man, this is a cool place.
And we gave them some hidden gems from our experience. We gave them some hidden gems from our experience, because they were like, hey, I want to know where's the places to go. And so that was actually pretty cool, because that's the whole point of what we're doing right now. The whole point of what we're doing right now is to find hidden gems and to find those things. So when you have a thing like Banner where you can get away, we were able to get away. We're on the main road, by the way. It's really next to the main road.
Banner Road, by the way.
Yes. When you can get away and just lose yourself for a couple, hours. So. And
if you come across a hidden gem, share it with somebody.
Yes. You never know who's looking for something. I think that's it.
All right. I'm April.
I'm Sean.
Bye.
Until next time.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Oh, you said guys.
Oh, sorry. Hello, people. We are standing outside the Log Cabin Museum on Sydney Avenue in Port Orchard. This is our hidden gem in this area.
One of them. In this area.
Yes.
And can I tell a secret?
Sure.
So this would be the third time we've done this. We actually did this, a month ago? Mm-hmm. A month ago, but the file got corrupted, and so we have to redo it.
Yes.
So we're pretending that we have not been inside there.
But let's not pretend. We're going to show you what happened when we actually went inside.
Yes, you're going to see that next. But so we're introducing, why are we here, April? What's going on? Why is this place part of our hidden gem?
Yeah, well, it seems kind of out of place here in Port Orchard. I mean, we have a beautiful waterfront down here, a lot of boat activity, a lot of marine activity, and smack dab in the middle of Port Orchard, there's this log cabin. And so it caught our attention, being newcomers to Port Orchard several years ago. And when we looked into the history, when we knew we wanted to spotlight this place, we started to investigate. So why is there a log cabin museum? And as it turns out, in 1914, really just after the city was incorporated, Alan Bartow built this log cabin for his wife. She really wanted a log cabin. He ended up building a log cabin for her, which is like pretty awesome. They ended up staying here living here for about 8 years, and then Alan fell ill, and he had to move, along with his wife, had to move over to Retzel, which is our veterans home. He gave the house to his children, and they didn't stay here much longer. Actually, the whole family had this, resided in this home, whether it be Alan or his children, for about 17 years. And then the log cabin fell in disrepair over decades and decades. Eventually, there was a plan to actually burn it down, to actually tear it down. And then in the 70s, early 70s, the community organizations got together and said, no, we want to restore this. And so a bunch of local organizations came together and offered up their help and resources and actually restored this cabin. And inside is actually kind of neat.
Yes.
Sean, what are we going to see?
It is. So one of the things we did when we researched, I mean, it has, I'm waiting for the car. One of the things that when we did our research was it has articles and items from decades, from like the early 1900s here. And one of the things that I found fascinating was that when it is actually open, they set it up for a decade. So a 10-year window, like 1960s Port Orchard. And that's their goal, is to set it up to kind of represent what Port Orchard will look like at that time frame. And that's really cool. So right now, because of COVID and all these things, it's kind of, there's a lot of stuff in it
Yeah, there's a lot being stored in there. It's still set up like the museum.
Yes.
And it's only open by appointment right now, but hopefully that will change once we get through the restrictions of the pandemic.
Yes. So this is the Log Cabin Museum. It's one of the 2 museums that we're doing for this episode, and we did get inside of it. We actually, but you guys don't know that yet because you'll see it.
You're going to see it.
You're going to see it next. So I think that's an introduction. Yeah. Hopefully this one works. Fingers crossed. So if it works, we'll see you in a second. Peace.
In 1970-ish, the city was getting ready to burn the building down in a control. It had been abandoned since the mid-60s. And the city was getting ready to burn it down in a controlled burn for the fire department to train.
Okay.
And our organization bought it and cleaned everything up and took it down to the studs. They had to actually, it was on an old growth stump out in front that they actually had to lift up to take out and fix that foundation.
How long did it take to restore it?
It took them a year or so of working really hard, and huge volunteer base of that. And a lot of up at the gallery, I have some scrapbooks with all the early like newspaper articles and things that people used to do, and the parties they used. It was a great party group.
Hey Sean, we're back at the Log Cabin Museum.
We are. We got to come back because we didn't get to do the outro. So here's our quick outro for this thing. So April, simple question. What did you get from the Log Cabin Museum?
Well, actually, I was really surprised at what we saw inside this building behind us, because on the outside it's very like undiscerning. You can't really tell what it's going to be. I just figured we walk into a house, but it's actually chock full of a lot of stuff that tells the story of Port Orchard from early years. Yeah,
it's pretty impressive, all the things they have in here. It's and so I think people should really come to it.
I really do. And if there's someone here, like a volunteer that's working here, you definitely want to get them to walk you around, because there are stories that are hidden in all the little gems that are in the building. Yeah,
and they tell you the history of it. And like I said, you see from the pictures, there's so much of Port Orchard's old history.
Yeah.
So it was an impressive thing. We have things going, so it's a lot of traffic around us right now because, as you were saying, in take 1 and 2, down from us is our town center, and they have a car show and a Fathoms of Fun thing. So people are coming and going, and it's bustling right here on a pretty nice day out. Yeah. So anyway, we had to come back and do the outro to the log cabin, and it is okay. Well, and we'll end with that.
It's a wrap.
All right, peace.
All right, we're in stop number 2, museum stop number 2, that is. Yeah, we're at the Sydney Art Museum.
That's a mural.
Yeah, very cool mural on the side of this building. Also found on Sydney Avenue, right off of Bay Street in downtown Port Orchard, Washington.
That's downtown.
Thanks for taking us there. It's actually a tall ship in port. That's the great thing about Port Orchard, is we're really a large port for our area, and we can see across the Bremerton. You never quite know what you're going to see in these waters, whether it be a submarine, orcas, paddle boarders, ferries all the time. And today there happens to be a tall ship.
Kayakers.
That's Swedish for kayaker.
I think that might be offensive to the Swedish people.
Sorry. Hi, Swedish fans.
I'm sorry.
All 2 of you. All right, so let's take these folks inside and see what's going on at the Sydney Art Museum.
Yes. Do that. All right, go away. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. April.
Hi, Sean.
So we just walked out of the Sydney Art Museum.
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
Actually, it was surprising.
Why was it surprising?
Because when we got in there, not only, I mean, I just thought we were going to walk into the museum. We've been in there before. We walked around briefly. But today, we actually met a couple of artists while they were there because they have monthly exhibits. If you check the website, it'll find you out. But today, we actually met Amy Burnett, who's a local artist from Bremerton, and Victoria Tierney. And Sean actually picked up a piece of her artwork.
Add to my postcard wall.
It was very interesting to talk to them about what inspired them to do the art that's on display here, and I'm excited about coming back. There's a ton of local artists here.
Yes, once a month.
This is what happens when you film in a city. You get people actually walking around and enjoying Port Orchard, because you know what? A place like this reminds me of these small towns, and this is our small town. They're fantastic. They're filled with connections and life.
Yes. Sorry, I'm very distracted. That's an old plane. This is this place. I went upstairs, and they have so much stuff from the old days. You know, the 1920s and on, and it's just. It was great to see. Like I said, I actually brought this out. So this is actually a postcard, not a postcard. This is actually a card. I'm going to turn it into a postcard from a postcard wall. But this is all fabric hearts. Victoria made for COVID, during the COVID time. They're broken hearts. We're talking about to kind of represent the COVID years. And so I bought it because, one, I love hearts, but I bought it to put on my postcard wall. So I kind of remember, you know, I mean, if you look at it, it's full of love. If you look closely, it's full of broken hearts. And it just reminds, I told her, she wrote in, I tried to write in here, it says, there are no more broken hearts. Because as we go through things and we come out of things, you know, that's how we heal and we mend and we grow stronger. So, you know, I didn't expect to find something that made me kind of go, yeah, this is kind of cool. And so that's why I bought that. And it cost me $4. I wonder if it's a tax write-off. No, okay. No. Anyway, so we I don't know if we're going somewhere else or not, or this is the last part of the
not sure.
restaurant. But this is part of our Hidden Gem series. So this is, you know, that's Port Orchard back there. And it's been kind of cool. It's been a gorgeous day, and it's kind of cool. Yeah. So
we'll see where we go next.
Whether there's a next on this episode or next sometime else. We'll see you when we see you. All right?
Bye.
Peace.
Are you as hungry as I am, Sean?
Well, they're closed, so.
I know. We arrived at the Homemade Cafe in Port Orchard.
We did, on the Sunday.
And because they are so popular, because their food is so delicious, and it's located right in downtown Port Orchard, we couldn't get a seat.
They were done for the day.
No,
but we're still going to do our Hidden Gem at the Homemade Cafe. See? Sure. As you can tell, they are really religious.
Not true.
Not true. Oh.
No. The building...
Then tell us about this Homemade Cafe, April.
Oh, okay. Well, the building itself was actually, it was built in 1895. It wasn't actually built here in Port Orchard. It was brought over here on a barge. And
that's a boat that carries stuff on water, y'all.
Yes, and if you didn't realize this already, Port Orchard is a port. So there's a lot of water around us in our area. So this building was brought here, and it's had several... It has had several different identities. Everything from a church to a tuxedo shop, to a wedding shop, to somebody's home, to a restaurant, and soon to be a bed and breakfast, from what we've heard coming down the pike.
Yes.
Yeah.
She walks hard.
So if you're in Port Orchard and you're looking for a good homemade lunch or breakfast, because they only serve breakfast and lunch, And they serve everything from these amazing skillets for breakfast.
Your basic eggs and bacon stuff.
Yeah, some amazing bacon.
I like their bacon.
Yeah, they have really good bacon.
And the inside, we don't really get to get pictures of it because, again, they were really packed in there. But the inside is all kind of doors, old doors. Actually, if you see behind me, right, that's kind of what it is inside, but they're not painted that way. They're all the way they were. So it's a really cool little spot. You know, and as you can see, it still has the church stained glass windows and things all around it. And then actually they're increasing, they're changing it to a, what are they doing upstairs? It's on the little paper.
It's going to be the Holy Water, a heavenly lounge. So
they're getting a drinking permit so you can go in a church and drink.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. I think that might be bad. But anyway, so this was actually,
judge.
Right? So unfortunately, this is a really quick one of our Hidden Gem series. But we eat here every couple months. We come down and just have it. So this is an amazing little place. So if you are visiting Port Orchard and you're like, hey, where's somewhere I should go that's just unique? I would go to the Hidden Gem of Homemade Cafe. It's a family owned. They get that old rustic kind of food. Yeah. The menu is not huge, right? That is a menu.
But everything on here sounds so good.
Right, and now we're hungry, so that really is rude. But we'll go and eat.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, if you ever get here and they're not busy, which is a rarity because they have, they're very popular.
It's a small place.
You can still find seats pretty regularly. Like we said, we go pretty.
You can eat outside.
Yeah, you could actually eat outside. And a beautiful day like this would be a perfect time to eat outside.
And yes, for our friends in California and places like that, a cloudy day can be a beautiful day.
Yes.
Don't be so judgmental.
Yeah. Don't believe the myths about our area.
Yes, it's beautiful.
But if you come at a slower time, I would definitely ask to have somebody tell you the full story about this building because it actually has a cool story behind it. But you'll have to find that out for yourself.
Yes. So I think this is a shorter one. Yeah. And I think let's see what we get to next. So do you have anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, this is our Hidden Gem, the Homemade Cafe. I'm Sean.
I'm April.
See you at the next stop.
Hey, Sean.
Hello, April.
Hey, we ended up here at Landon Gardens unexpectedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
10 minutes before I close.
No kidding. So we were at one of the other local venues, Hidden Gems, in this series, and the folks at the Sydney Art Museum recommended that we come down here and we check this out.
And this is a shocking place.
Wow, I would have never guessed. We actually passed this place so every time we go from Port Orchard to Bremerton.
Yeah, it's between the freeway. It's really, it's right next to the freeway.
Right. And personally, I knew it was a garden, but I didn't necessarily know that it was this elaborate and this incredibly beautiful.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the bonsais, but I'm going to show you where we at. It's like beautiful here. It's a hidden gem. I mean, there's hundreds.
So let's continue to explore.
Okay.
We'll share a little bit of the video with you guys, and then we'll let you know what we think afterwards.
Yes, and we'll get out of the place because it's probably closing. So.
Sounds good.
All right. Till then, peace. Demonstration on the pruning of the bonsai trees with Cal. He's showing all these trees. I want to actually show you guys a tree, the one behind me, this guy. That tree was made in 300 BC. It is over 3,000 years old, 2,000 years old, and it's still alive, obviously. This is really quite stunning. I said, you see, there are people here that take care of these things. Like I said, there's April, which I believe it's Kyle, and he's a helper here, and he helps to do the bonsai. That's the way, bone, like bonjour, bonsai trees. And so we are really, this is an amazing space. I'm sure April and I will talk about it again when she's done talking. But I just want to show her getting teaching and her listening. So look at that beautiful red one back there. So anyway, it's just a quick showing what happens when you start talking to people. She's still talking, so I'm gonna go back and learn some stuff. All right, peace.
Enjoying the sun. Just finished up at the garden, the Alandon Garden in Port Orchard. Definitely turned out to be a hidden gem for sure.
Oh yes, definitely. It was
well, we both had an assumption about what that place was going to be. I thought it was going to be a garden or a nursery. Sean, you thought? I
thought it was going to be a, well, I talked about it in one of the things. I thought it was going to be it was a construction place.
Yeah,
I thought it was a construction place. You drive by, it's on the side of the road, and I didn't even see the sign that said garden. I just thought maybe it was like a gardening, you know, like a house gardening place that they came and did your garden. Mm-hmm. No idea what we were walking into.
Yeah, and while it does have that feature, they do landscaping, and that is not their primary art.
No.
We went in, there were acres. It actually used to be the dump for Bremerton, and the owner, Dan Robinson, and his crew out there put a huge labor of love in there to clean it up, get the dirt in there, get the rocks in there, and he is a bonsai artist, not bonsai. Don't say that way. A bonsai artist, and he is atypical. He's a nonconformist artist, meaning he doesn't follow the book that others follow or the teachings, and not to disparage the traditional way of doing that artistry. He definitely has a philosophy about the way it should be done, and you guys just saw some of those photographs.
Yes,
hopefully you enjoyed that.
A lot. We said 300 different trees, and one's as old. Like I said, I said earlier, 300 BC.
Ooh,
has made, it was just. We're gonna go back to that place and just be able to spend some time and just sit. We kind of went through. We got in 20 before closing, and they let us stay longer. So they actually loved talking about it, and we were fortunate. I mean, it's a beautiful day here, and it's really amazing. We'll probably talk about this more when we do the closing for this episode. But for the closing of this particular thing, it's really amazing what you get to see and you get to learn and you get to find out about when you talk to people, because we didn't know that place existed, and all of a sudden we're, you know, like, wow, here you go.
I actually want to. Our pictures probably won't show this, but I wanted to thank the people that are there. You know, the kindness goes a long way, and Willow and Kyle and Dan were all amazing there, sharing that place with us. So thank you.
Yeah, it was amazing. So we're going to wrap up. We have things to do, and so that was a whirlwind, and it was amazing. Definitely go back. So our hidden gems for this one was our bonsai tree area. What was it called? Bonsai. Okay, so until the next episode or the next section or whatever it may be, we'll see you then. Peace.
Hey guys, April here. I'm at the Port Orchard Marina bringing this episode of Let Me the Journey, the hidden gem of Port Orchard, to a close. So we're doing our outros individually this time because each one of us walked away from this first installment of this series with different perspectives. We're transplants to Port Orchard, and the curiosity of this town, while I've been here for 4 years, the curiosity still grows. And as we did this episode, I realized that even when you think you know a place, you really don't know a place. And one of the greatest assets that I found in doing this episode is actually in talking to the people and asking them about their stories. We walk around people all day long, and they have incredible stories, and when you ask them about their experience with your little town, you might be amazed with what you find. There's an amazing amount of talent and creativity and compassion and friendship and community here in Port Orchard, and so that's the thing that I'm going to walk away with. I'm actually looking forward to checking out some of the other places around our area because I'm going to hypothesize that I might find the same thing, or maybe I'll find something a little different. I'm not sure. So this is April. Let me live every tiny moment exceptionally in your little town.
Hey guys, so I guess it's my turn. It's Sean, closing up this episode, as April said, this episode of Let Me the Journey, Port Orchard. Well, as she said, we got a lot out of this. We got to learn so much about our little town. I've lived here for 5 years now. My wife grew up here, and we started out with a plan to see certain spots that we knew, we understood. We wound up in a couple that we had no idea we were going to go, simply because we talked to people who had been from here, who talked from here. It was an amazing adventure. It was amazing talking to people, talking to Don, I think it is, or Dan. I messed up the names. April's good at names. Dan, who has redone bonsai, and it's just an amazing person. Chris from the museum, and just meeting so many people, just talking to local artists, and realizing that, you know, you don't have to go far to let me. You don't have to go anywhere to let me. You can do it right here in your place. I am humbled by just the beauty of our location, and we were lucky enough to do this during sunset because, you know, if you live every tiny moment exceptionally, you got to do it with that. So I'll just move out of the way and we'll let it end with that there. All right. Till next time. See you guys. Live every tiny moment exceptionally.